Morning everyone, Ado here, Social Care Management Team at Crosscare, a member of the Social Care Workers Board Carew and a member of the Consultative Forum for former residents of mother and baby homes and allied institutions. One of the things that struck me this week that I'd like to talk about is the notion of accountability. And how accountable are we and who are we accountable to? And this stems from listening to the news around the CAMS issue down in Kerry and the investigation now into harm done to young children using the CAM services. And a lot of us will be familiar with CAM services, and a lot of us will be working in CAM services indeed. I remember the time when CAM started to take on social care workers. Prior to that, they didn't have any social care workers working for them. A lot of us who've worked in children's residential services will be very well aware of what CAMs do. But it's the accountability issue I want to look at. So, accountability in social care is very broad based. Ultimately, the organisation holds a huge amount of the accountability for everyone, for staff, for those that use our services, and for other for the interactions with other organisations that we interact with cross professionally. And then there's accountability through the supervision process. And that, for me, in the organisation I work with, that is probably one of the greatest ways of handling and holding someone to account. Because you get to do it through a very relationship-based model. Now, I know this is not the way you all experience supervision, but it's the way you should experience supervision. If your supervisor and you build up a very strong relationship, and if your supervisor is there in a very supportive way, working properly through the Toni Morrison model of supervision, and holding you to account, part of holding you to account is helping you analyse where your skills are and improving on them all the time, but doing it very much from a caring mindset. And then there's the accountability of each other, the team process. How do we hold each other to account, or are we willing to hold each other to account? In the case of in the recent case of CAMS, if you look at that as a team model, that's a medical based model that CAMS work under, and it tends to be quite hierarchical. So when the top person in the chain wasn't holding anyone to account, or wasn't there to hold anyone to account, then the people on the next level of the chain didn't hold each other to account. And the people below those in the chain didn't think that they could hold anyone accountable above them. And that really needs to start with us as a team, actively, the social care workers on the team, actively saying to each other, you have my permission to hold me to account. I don't want you to come screaming at me, but you have my permission to say, look, I noticed X, Y, Z, and really, I was quite concerned about that, and then talk about it. And that is the best way for accountability to be built into the culture of the organisation. Then, no matter what the structure is like, you won't have what happened in CAMS, because you start picking each other's indiscretions or minor failings or stuff that, your knowledge deficiencies. You start to pick all of them up and you work with each other. And then you can work through that in supervision as well, anyway, by putting in plans on how to develop the skills or the knowledge deficits that you're missing. So my thought for this week is accountability is not a top-down exercise. Accountability has to be able to permeate all the way through the organisation, from the bottom to the top, from the left to the right, and everything in between, and should be an all-inclusive permission-given exercise. Talk to you next week.